Welcome back everyone. Today I'm going to show you my iBook collection. These systems are a really good starting point if you want to get into older Macs. This is a 14-inch iBook G3. I bought this a few years ago out of the United States with a failed hard drive. So it's the 600 megahertz G3 processor, 640 meg RAM, and it's got the 8 meg ATI graphics. I ended up, once I opened it up, they're a bit of a pain to get into. I replaced the failed hard drive with a M.2 to IDE adapter, and it has 128 gig SSD in it now. You might see from the desktop that I've got multiple partitions for system installs, and I actually use this as a bit of a rescue laptop for any other G3 or G4 system. One of the really handy things about the G3 iBooks is that they can run OS 9 or OS X, and also having FireWire, it's a great rescue system to plug into another computer over FireWire target disk mode, and either being able to basically use it as an external hard drive that you can boot another system from, or I can restore from a system that I've got on this SSD to another system that I want to repair that may have a bad install. So this one is currently booted into 10.3 Panther, but I also have Tiger and OS 9 installed. The other two 14-inch iBooks are both G4s, and they're actually identical hardware. So you can see on the first one, it's a 1.2 gigahertz G4, and it's got maxed out RAM 1.25 gig, and it's got the Radeon 9200 graphics with 32 meg of VRAM. So this system's currently booted into Leopard, but you can see I also have Tiger and Sorbet installed. And then an identical system, also 1.2 gigahertz with, this one only has 512 meg RAM, and identical graphics, the 9200 Radeon with 32 meg. So this system's currently booted into Tiger. And now we've got the three 12-inch iBooks, starting with, this is another G3, so not the one that I need to replace the hard drive on, but this one's all working well and good. And it's a 600 megahertz with 384 meg RAM, and has the same 8 meg ATI Rage graphics. We've got a G4 that is 800 megahertz with 1.12 gig of RAM, and it's got the Radeon 9200 with 32 megs. And then we've got a slightly faster 1.33 gigahertz with 1 gig of RAM, and also the Radeon 9550 and 32 meg of VRAM. Over the years there were some speed increases and the obvious change from G3 to G4, but the hardware is identical between the 12-inch and the 14-inch of whichever model was available at the time. This is a pretty broad spread of different speeds. I have read that some of the later G4s and some of the higher speed G3s are prone to failure. So I've actually got a G3 12-inch iBook sitting here in front, and this one has a failed hard drive in it. You'll see that there's a FireWire 400 cable connected between the 12-inch and the 14-inch G3. So what I'm going to do is put the 14-inch into FireWire target disk mode, and then I'll option key boot the 12-inch, and we'll be able to boot up the 12-inch off and install that's in the 14 inches hard drive or SSD. So we'll start up the 14-inch and hold down the T for target disk mode. Now everything in the 14-inch on its SSD and the CD-ROM drive is accessible by anything else that plugs into it. And we'll option boot the 12-inch. You may hear the hard drive kicking over there. So it's now giving us the option of booting the OS 9, System Partition, Panther, or Tiger from the 14-inch iBook. This is a good example of where Firewire can be handy. I couldn't remember what the system specs were, but now we're booting off a system partition from the 14-inch iBook, but still able to see what the hardware is. So this system is also a 600 megahertz. It has 384 megs of RAM. And obviously this isn't a permanent fix. I do need to replace that hard drive, but it's a good way of accessing the system. In the few videos I've made so far, I keep saying that I like certain aspects of the models that I'm showing you. And I generally only collect and repair the models that I like. But between the G3 and the G4, I do really like the form factor of them, but the G3 is my preference. The G3 is actually called the G3 Snow, and it has the translucent keyboard, which I do prefer, but also the outer casing of the G3. It's actually transparent and painted white on the inside, so it has a different kind of depth to it. Whereas the G4, the outer case is just a solid opaque white. This particular 12-inch has a crack in the palm rest here. I do have another parts machine that has a really nice palm rest. So eventually I will open it up. I'll replace the failed hard drive in this one and put another SSD like the 14-inch. Thanks for watching, and stick around to see which obsolete Mac I pull out next.